Welcome to episode 0 of the Gilded Troll Plays Curse of Strahd. This is session 0. We're making characters. They kind of already sort of have characters in mind, but we're going to figure out who they are, where they're from, and what they can do. So before we get into that, how about we introduce our players? So for our longtime viewers, you'll recognize Sean and AJ. But you may very well not recognize the rest of our players. Down beneath me, I've got Alex, also known as Mr. Bayless. He does all the art for the stream, but not that. That's just from the book. He did that, though, our Gilded Troll logo.
Yes, I did. I will eventually do stuff that's in that corner.
Yeah. That corner.
There is a
that's gonna, yeah, that one. Okay,
right.
got it.
Fix it.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Fixing the echo. Alright, you can no longer hear the players. And then in just a second, you will be able to hear the players.
And I'm echoing.
Alright, there we go. No more echoing. I fixed the echo.
No more echo.
Yeah, alright. Echo has been fixed.
Because I'm playing a god character, so I was just getting into character.
I thought I could get away with not having to wear a headphone, but no.
Wear a headphone. I do it every week. Get on my level.
Okay. And I feel bad for giving Bayless such a prolific intro because I don't have anything quite so.
Equally as awesome are.
Yes, equally as awesome are Andy, also known as Andy the Math Magician, and Jordan, also known as J Miller 2377.
We are here as well.
Yes, you are here as well. I recommend everyone change your name on Twitch to Gilded something. No, don't actually do that. I'm just fucking.
I just changed my name, Ian.
Yeah, I know.
What?
No, I have my own brand. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Okay, that makes sense.
That clashes.
Yeah, I mean, you actually like stream on Twitch, so like changing your name,
sure.
That's you know.
Yes, how about don't?
I will be your dungeon master for the next something like 20 sessions. I don't know. That's about how long Curse of Strahd lasts. The Gilded Joe. Yeah, sure, Joey.
Go for it, Joey. Do it.
So, yeah, I didn't give much thought to like exactly how we're going to begin this, like other than how I'm going to introduce players. So I guess I'll just start by just sort of talking about the campaign in broad strokes and what the sort of tones and themes that I think that we should expect are. And then if you disagree with me, feel free to speak up, and then we can come to an agreement on what the tones and themes should be. So, better introductions? Oh, Steph's doing, I guess. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I guess you can't see this because it's in Twitch chat. So, yeah, Steph is in full heckle mode now that she's not on screen. I think I need to stop looking at chat because I'm getting majorly disrupted.
If you're watching this on YouTube,
I'm just putting up our chat.
If you're watching this on YouTube, go on Twitch, you big stupid, because you're missing the stuff as it happens.
Hey man, we have a very large YouTube following. We actually do have
but it's better in Twitch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you all are aware that this is predominantly described as a gothic horror campaign. And what that means is that, horror, there will be scary things. There will be things that you don't know there will be times when you don't know what's going on or who to trust, or even if you can trust anyone. And then the gothic is mostly just sort of an aesthetic, but a lot of that has to do with tragedy. So a lot of the characters that you'll come across are products of their own misfortune, or their misfortune is a product of their own hubris, generally.
That sounds like my own goddamn life.
They real sad boys.
All of the above. Too far. There we go.
So one of the questions that I wanted to ask you guys about the tone that you would like to see in this game is, this is a land of darkness. Everyone here is accustomed to the darkness. Do you want to be together with them in that darkness, or would you rather be a source of light? And that's a very sort of broad, far-reaching question. So I'll kind of make an example just to give you an idea of what I'm asking. So when you come across these downtrodden, unfortunate people, and you make things better for them, do you expect them to thank you and be glad for your having been here, or would you expect them to be sad because they know you're going to leave and things are going to go back to the way they were?
I think the first one.
Okay.
Are you talking me or the character?
You as a player. Yeah, so I'm asking what kind of game do you want to play? Oh, I should yeet my phone. Steph, watch out. I'm yeeting.
Don't eat the phone. Don't eat the
Eat it at her.
Eat it.
Eat it at her.
Eat
Eat it.
Oh god!
it. Oh!
It has been yoked. Steph has successfully defended.
Oh
Did he miss?
It hath been yoted.
But yeah, no, I'm asking what kind of game you guys want to play. So we've
Sponsor
got...
us, Arby's.
Please don't sponsor us, Arby's. So we got one vote from Sean for Source of Light. What are the rest of you thinking?
I would say me as a person. I would hope that like us as a group brings them like, you know, optimism.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say that my character would care.
Okay. At this point, I'm more interested in what you want to play as a player, because if you want to be a source of light and you go into a town and you fix all of their problems, and then you're like, okay, we fixed all your problems, like we have to go to the next town to fix their problems.
Yeah.
And they say, oh well, it's just gonna go back to the way it came. I don't know why you even bothered. To me as a player, like that would feel really bad. So I want to make sure that isn't happening for the players, because this is a game we're all trying to have fun. So
sure.
So that's 2 votes for light.
Yeah, no, I think that feels better as a player for people to
count me in with
appreciate
that one too.
what you're doing for them.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
want
agree.
some payoff, right? Like you want to have done some good.
Right.
My character literally glows. I will be the light. Yeah.
The character that's not yet fully built, but you have an idea of who it is. But,
Yeah, I'm still keeping my race. I fought for this shit, and I will keep it.
Oh God, I have to close Discord. Jesus, I'm just getting bombed.
Yeah, no.
I have to mute my thing and close the. Oh God, I am not prepared. What am I doing with my life?
What do you do for a living?
Cry.
I actually have a lot of windows open on my computer for a living, so that explains why I have so many windows open on my computer.
I'm actually going to shut down Discord too, because I don't want those popping up.
I'm going to create an output projector so I can just see. There we go. Alrighty. So now I can see the stream as I'm streaming it, but it's in real time instead of seeing it delayed through Twitch.
Oh yeah, that's how I'm watching.
That's really bothering.
Yeah, this way I can see like your actual reactions as I'm saying things, and not 5 seconds later.
That's probably helpful.
Yeah. So you know, source of light, not alone in the darkness. Got it. This next question is kind of a question for your characters, but it's also a question for you, and it's sort of answered by the previous one. Are you here to be selfish or selfless? If you see a person in need, would you help them? Generally.
Yes.
I think generally yes, help them.
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
I would say not to be the black sheep of the group. I would.
Well, you're gonna be the black sheep of the group.
I would to an extent.
Okay.
I would help people as best as I could, as long as I'm not putting myself in an impossible situation.
Okay. So there is a minimum level of self-preservation prior to helping others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There aren't going to be any heroic sacrifices.
I'm not going to be a martyr.
Okay.
I've done that in my last campaign.
I did it. It's old news. Not doing it again.
I was a paladin. I saved someone.
done.
I died. They died, and they died anyway. I'm over it.
Oops. Okay. So like I said, like this is a very dark campaign. but there will be points of light, most of them likely coming from your intervention.
What color light are you?
What color light are you? Oh, what's your favorite color? That's actually really important for
Yellow.
me. Like, I need to...
Hey, bro, what's your favorite color, though?
Real talk,
Chimichanga.
real talk, I hate the way the first 2 chapters of this book are laid out.
Skip it.
Yeah.
Write your own.
Write my own first 2 chapters?
Do it.
Oh, that's why I was getting confused. The thing I was looking for is in the introduction, which is before chapter 1.
Oh, yeah, sure, naturally.
As
Yeah,
they
we'll do
normally are.
Yeah. So since it is a very dark campaign, there can be times of great discomfort, and those times of great discomfort are usually caused by cruelty, either the universe being cruel to someone or people being cruel to one another.
People suck in general, so it's
Make me uncomfortable.
Are there any kinds of cruelties that you do not want to see that I can omit from the game? Essentially, I'm asking, do you have any hard limits?
I mean,
the real deal. I'll deal with it.
the expected hard limits, I'd say.
Okay. So I, as a rule, do not put sexual violence in any of my campaigns. I will. So mental violence is kind of a weird thing. So enchantment magic exists, and forcing people to do things against their will via magic is a thing that exists. I kind of treat it as a soft limit. As a DM, I don't like to go into detail about what that does to your psyche or what that means about your free will. But you may very well come across people, unless you have a problem with it, who have been forced to do things against their will. Is that a problem? Okay.
No.
I do have one
Okay.
limit. I don't know if it's a
No,
soft
I mean, it's
limit or
kind
a
of,
hard
you
limit.
kind of expect an evil person to do evil things.
One of my limits would be suicide.
Okay.
Like vivid description of like suicide and like that type of stuff.
Okay. Noted. So I'm glad I asked that question. Sometimes I ask that question and then like nobody says anything, and then I learn down the line that I've crossed a line, and it's like, well, okay, maybe I should have been more clear asking what I was looking for. So cool. Notes. Themes. Yes, themes.
I thought you said
themes. I talked about this in my last call on genre, but to me, themes are essentially what the fiction makes us ask about what it means to be human or what it means to be sapient. And to me, the themes in this book mostly revolve around what it means to be good and evil, what it means to be redeemed, and what it means to be powerless, I guess, against an uncaring, unforgiving, or possibly even malevolent universe. So those are the questions that I expect to be explored in this campaign. Are those things that you find interesting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say
absolutely.
I'd say like the grayness between good and evil is
Okay.
really interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right. Yeah, I was preparing for this, and I was expecting there to be like lively debate on like whether or not something is interesting. I wasn't expecting everyone to just like, yeah, no, that sounds really cool. Like,
I mean, most moral dilemmas like that are really interesting.
okay. Like I was totally expecting to just have to change all of my plans and be like,
I mean,
oh, okay,
No, I fucking hate everything. You're stupid. You're
I mean,
stupid.
again, you explicitly put this group together based on similarities. I mean, I
Yes,
feel like
I did do
I
that.
feel like
Which
we're
one
more or
is
less going to
that?
be on the same page.
Yes. Okay. All right. Cool.
Within reason, I think we're all on the same page in terms of like what the campaign has to bring and like the themes it touches on.
Make me
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
and I want to second what Sean said on that gray area is always a very interesting place to explore.
Yeah.
And where that line may be, if there is a hard line in the gray area.
And that whole like story premise
I
about
don't.
like the villain who has his reasons for things, like that's always that always makes for a better villain, personally.
Or the lengths of what a hero will go to do in order to vanquish who he views as the villain, to the point where he ends up becoming another evil character.
Right.
Sorry, I just realized I don't have the alert box in this scene, so I gotta add it real quick.
Yeah.
What?
When you decide, are you going to be the hero that Gotham needs, or the hero that it
Exactly.
deserves? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You die early enough to become the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
Literally.
Quote Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tim, thanks for selling 3 month streak.
That's Harvey Dent,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. No, I just give everything. I just quote everything to Christian Bale because he's infallible.
It's not even Bruce Wayne or Batman. It was Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Christian Bale.
yeah.
said it.
Yeah, just Christian Bale.
All right. Some people will watch the world burn. Oh my God, Joey actually changed his name to the Gilded Joe.
I know.
Yeah, he did.
Notice?
Like almost immediately.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it says something like, "Who said I wouldn't do it?"
You know, he tested us, and I had no doubt.
Yeah.
It's a very Joey thing to do.
Yep.
All right. So we're all kind of agreed on what kind of story we want to tell. So now we just have to agree on a few ground rules for how we want to play the game. So first and foremost, the book very strongly recommends, and I kind of agree with its recommendation, to use milestone leveling as opposed to experience points. Is anyone opposed to that? Like, you absolutely want to get XP for killing things?
No, that's how you typically do it when you run other campaigns.
I do typically do milestone, yes, but it is technically a variant rule, so I did want to bring it up.
I feel like Curse of Strahd is like one of the harder ones to do milestone on, though.
I disagree. The book lays out like exactly when milestones should be.
Okay.
So I think that it's pretty easy to do milestones here.
I mean, the only reason why I'm thinking that at the moment is because, spoiler, the one item requires the one class, and we don't have that class.
Okay.
I missed it.
So, what would be the reason for us to get that item?
You get
Besides
anyway
the story saying.
Because the story says so. I mean, you don't have to, and then you can just be a little under-leveled, and then that's just part of the difficulty.
No spoilers.
Okay. No spoilers.
Oh my God, spoilers. Shut up.
I'm trying.
That's
I
my-
always think
that's
I
my
always
hard
feel like
line.
XP. I always feel like XP is too it promotes too much. Like, oh well, you kill the monster, you get XP for it. Not like it doesn't promote getting out
It
of
doesn't
situations
promote
and
alternative options.
Wow, that was loud.
yeah.
Good God, Tim just gifted a bunch
Okay.
of subs.
Holy shit. Tim just gifted 5 subs to the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Wow,
Timmy.
and I didn't get one.
Thank you, Timmy Boo Boo.
Thanks.
And welcome to
I wanted my
Lizzie Beth,
notification.
Hi, everybody.
Backwards Weakness, Superior Iron Spider, Shadow Marth, and Fathoms. I'm calling you Backwards Weakness. You can't.
Because what it is.
Yeah, it's the word weakness backwards. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't get that one past me. And we're just gonna hear it 5 times.
This is my favorite part.
All right, so milestones, definitely milestones. Got it.
Milestones.
Food and water. How interesting do you think tracking food and water and having to buy them and keeping track of how much you've used and
Absolutely not. That's so. Ugh.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's...
no, it depends on the setting, really. But
Yeah.
no, I'm not a
I
fan
feel
of
like
that
it
at all.
takes
Someone
away.
take the Outlander background.
I feel like it takes away from the actual playing of the campaign, trying to track that kind of stuff. Just like tracking arrows and ammunition and that kind of stuff?
Cool. That was my next question. Ammunition.
Nah, fuck that.
No, I
fuck
think
that.
anything like standard ammunition is easy enough to come by. Special ammunition, obviously, but
I would say if this was like a hard survival campaign, then I would see it. Like if this were,
Yeah.
you know, like
I can see
like
that.
a Fallout or, you know, a desert wasteland kind of thing where like
Or
resources.
even like the Underdark.
Okay, yeah, something
Yeah.
where like resources are, you know, kind of part of it, like definitely.
So that's 4 out of 5
but-
subs.
But if this is mostly about like surviving like mental fear
Yeah.
and trauma, then I would say like how much water I have is kind of irrelevant in my
Yeah.
character's brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I agree.
Especially if there's easy access to that. I mean, I haven't really read through Strahd, so I don't know how. But like, if
Mhm.
it's taking place in an area with towns and whatnot, access to water, access to food is probably something that's not really an issue. Whereas with the Avernus, it made a lot of sense
Yeah.
to track that kind of stuff. So
oh yeah, see, I could see it having worked in Avernus, yeah, because you're in a wasteland with nothing. Yeah.
It's literally
Yeah.
nothing. And then even,
Quite
even
literally
when you
Mad
do
Max.
find even when you do find food and water, it tastes like ash and vinegar.
And mayonnaise.
And
yeah,
well,
like
I mean,
Jay Miller said, those special and magical ammunition, silver, magical arrows, stuff like that,
Yeah.
obviously should be
yeah,
tracked.
yeah.
got it. All right. All right. Next on my list is crits. So I do not run critical fumbles at all. If you roll a 1, it's just a miss, regardless
Thank
of
you.
modifier. I think that is the most injurious house rule that everyone adds. On ability checks, nat 20 is not an automatic success, but if it is impossible even with a 20, and I'm aware of that, I won't make you roll, I'll just tell you it's impossible. For saving throws, there's no crits on a 20, no crit fail on a 1. So if you have a plus 17 charisma save and you roll a 1, it's still an 18, and that might save. And then critical hits with attacks. In the past, I've been running what I call 4E crits, which I have since been told is not actually how 4E did crits. 4E works a little bit different. But given how pervasive critical hits are in Gilded Troll campaigns, mostly due to the nat 20s that viewers can donate, I am going to suspend 4E crits as a rule. So a critical hit just doubles the number of dice you're rolling, plus any extra dice you have from like brutal criticals or savage attacks. Is that what it's called? Savage attacks?
Brutal critical. Yeah, savage attack.
Okay.
Savage attack, yeah.
The barbarian one? Yeah.
No, half orc.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
half-orc,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So that's crits.
So we, remind me again. So we roll twice, or we just double the dice roll?
you roll the dice twice.
Gotcha. Okay, that works.
So if you're
Cool.
swinging with a great sword, instead of 2d6, you'll roll 4d6.
Okay.
And then a few house rules. So I did post the house rules in our Discord in the rules channel, but I do want to go over a few, especially since I wasn't sure if I wanted to include some of them. So I actually kind of want to get a discussion on them. And the first one is metamagic for all. So I introduced it in Avernus, and it made Folk significantly more powerful because of the way it interacts with sorcerers. So AJ, this is of note to you. And then, so it, just to give a summary of the rule, every spellcaster of at least 3rd level has access to every metamagic option. Only sorcerers get sorcery points after a long rest. Everyone else resets to 0, but anyone can burn a spell slot to create sorcery points. And then sorcerers, at levels when a sorcerer would pick a metamagic option, instead they pick a metamagic option to reduce the cost of by 1. So at level 3, when you would normally pick 2 metamagic options, you could say, I want to pick subtle and careful, and those are now free. They go from 1 to 0 sorcery points. So AJ, I know you were thinking about playing a sorcerer, so that is of a note to you. But any other spellcasters would be able to use metamagic if we use that house rule. What do you guys think?
I'm okay with that rule.
As a fighter, I have no way in.
Well, you could be an Eldritch Knight.
Could.
I was just gonna ask about that. Like, would the rules still apply for like 3rd level Eldritch Knight?
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
so a 3rd level Eldritch Knight or a 3rd level Arcane Trickster would have access to meta magic. Your maximum sorcery points is determined the same as your effective spellcasting level as per the multiclassing rules. So Rangers and Paladins, it's half level. Fighters and Rogues, if you're an Arcane Trickster or Eldritch Knight, would be 1/3 of your level. So at level 3, Arcane Trickster gets spellcasting, and then their maximum sorcery points is 1. So you can't quicken anything at level 3. You would have to wait until level 6 to quicken something, because that costs 2 sorcery points. But yeah, that's generally how I would roll that. And then the other thing is that because the progression of half casters and third casters doesn't match up with the way the multiclassing calculates it, you actually round your levels up instead of down. So a 4th level paladin, or sorry, a 5th level paladin casts spells like a 3rd level full caster, so they count as level 3 for multi-classing spellcasting as well as for maximum sorcery points. And I think all those rules are in the rules channel. I don't know. I already closed Discord. But
I remember reading that one.
okay. So yeah, that. So Bayless is planning on playing a fighter. I think Andy, you're a barbarian.
Yep.
Barber. He's a barber.
You're a barber. Jordan, you're a druid, so you would have access to it. And then Sean, I think you were planning on going Arcane Trickster.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really. Does that sound like something that would be interesting and make spellcasting more fun for you, the two of you?
I think so. I have to look at what
meta magics exist.
Yeah,
what meta magics are 1 point.
Twinned, actually, if you cast a 1st level spell. Careful, empowered, subtle.
Okay, subtle would be nice.
And I think it's about a sorcerer meta magic.
Twin would be cool.
Twin would be nice too.
Twin is kind of insane. Distant costs 1. Extended costs 1.
Twin depends on the level of the spell.
Yes.
So yeah.
Being able to twin healing spells?
Yes.
Healing words and cure wounds, yeah.
As long as the
that
spell
would be very helpful.
Yeah, twin healing word's actually insane.
Yeah. That's what I did when I did Divine Word Sorcerer.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
That was like the only thing I used it for.
I think I can get behind this rule.
All right, cool. So we will use that.
Yes.
So moving on. So another house rule that I use, and Andy, this is specifically of note to you. I think that Barbarian rage damage is massively undertuned. So by default, your rage damage goes up at like 9 and 15 or something like that. Instead, it goes up by 1 at 5, 9, 13, and 17. So by the time you're level 20, your rage damage would be +6. And also, it goes up much sooner.
Oh.
So it goes to 3 at level 5, 4 at level 9,
Yep.
5 at 13, and +6. Cool.
Yeah, so like proficiency.
Yeah,
Nice.
it scales the same rate as proficiency, but it is not equal to your proficiency bonus just because of multiclassing.
Okay, yeah.
So like if you're a barbarian 2, fighter 15, it's still only +2 rage damage.
Cool. I'm down to smash harder. That's fine with me.
Forward.
So another house rule I use is Int Warlocks. If you choose Warlock as a class or as a multi-class, you choose Charisma or Intelligence for the entire class when you pick that class for the first time. And then literally anytime anything in any of your class features says Charisma, it's just Intelligence instead. So that's a rule that we used for Avernus. Nixie was an Int Warlock, and I am totally happy using that moving forward. I think, Sean, that's of note to you, maybe, possibly, because you're actually Int-based.
Yeah. I'm not as heavy Int-based at the moment, but...
And since we're using Meta Magic for all, this next rule is very powerful. I don't care about the rule that says that if you cast a bonus action spell, you can't cast any other spell unless it's a cantrip. That's a stupid rule. It's a stupid rule, so I don't use it. So if you want to cast Healing Word and Cure Wounds in the same turn, cool. If you want to cast Fireball, Quicken Fireball, do it. So that's a thing I use.
Damn.
And Bayless is just like, okay, let me.
Yeah.
I'll be over here with my sword.
Yeah, all
I'll be
these
here with my
cool,
sword and smashing things.
yeah, all these cool ass rules, and I don't get any of them.
Oh, someone's got to smash things.
Yeah,
I'm
Uh,
I got
7 inches
We need
tall.
a
Someone's
boulder,
got to
and we have
smash.
a boulder in the way.
I'll stabby stab.
Stabby stabby.
Maybe
Stabby,
stab
stab.
and grab.
To be fair, the best status condition is dead, and the best way to make things dead is to stab them.
Correct.
It's a sword.
What a profit.
What? Why are you saying get fucking good?
Because he's a fighter.
Oh, okay. I see. Get good. You're
Shut up, Steph.
So the other big one is that racial ability score bonuses can be moved to any ability. I think that I think it's a little racist to assume that all
Get
dwarves are
it?
strong. I just like, what if they don't value physical fitness and they just want to be smart? So any racial bonuses, put them in any ability score you want. On D&D Beyond, that's sort of easy by just adding an other modifier in the ability scores. You just put a -2 in the one that already has a +2, and then you put a +2 in the one you want.
That's a good idea. I usually just do manual, and I just do the math.
Yeah,
I think-
But your way is easier.
doing manual is like dangerous because it's like, how in the fuck did this get to 19? I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's a really big move.
And then you forget that it was manual, and you take a half feat, and then it doesn't go up, and you're really confused. Speaking of ability scores, we use point buy. We do not roll for stats, but I'm sure you guys already knew that. And I'm actually gonna just look at the rules channel and see what else. Racial ability scores.
Oh my god, he's
well,
opening Discord.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I've got any racial abilities that like benefited things I didn't want it to be.
I mean, it's very possible. What does Grom get you?
Con and Dex.
Yeah, Dex.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, I want both of those.
Those are great for a fighter.
Yeah.
Or at
That
least
worked out really well.
great for a Dex fighter, at least.
Hell no, Z. I'm drawing my own stuff, yo.
Guys, I have my laptop muted, so even if you spam, I'm not going to hear it. So that's all I had for rules and house rules. So I think we're just about ready to start making characters.
Sweet.
So, and by making characters, I mean like finalizing the characters that you've already like mostly written. Do I have a D&D Beyond overlay like enabled already? No, cool. I was smart. I didn't enable it.
I mean, there's one that shows
No,
up
there
on
is.
Twitch, but it's showing the Avernus group
Yeah.
right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Yeah.
why didn't anyone tell me that?
Because
I
we
figured
didn't
you did it
know.
on
We didn't
purpose.
bother to check, dumbass.
Because I'm trying to avoid the chat because, like, looking at the stream like 5 seconds late is bothering me.
Yeah.
I figured it was just on, and you haven't changed anything yet.
Where the fuck?
Oh, I'm looking at the stream just for chat.
Yeah, me too.
Extensions, my extensions.
I didn't want to question your abilities.
All right. Well, thanks.
Please do.
But please do.
I mean, I just started. I don't want to get immediately killed, so
That makes sense. All right.
I like my boy.
Why do I?
Session 0, rocks fall, we die.
I can change the stream to chat only in the options. Thanks, Timmy.
All right.
What's that?
I'm gonna hit save. All right. So D&D Beyond is now updated. The overlay is updated to have this campaign.
Now I can just
Wow.
So now
Just
chat
pop out the
now
chat.
chat can like.
Do we have to refresh? Oh, nope. There it
No,
is.
you don't.
Oh, there
Look
it
at
is. Look at my weak sus. I got 7 health.
7 health.
where's my
I'm
boy?
Sorcerer and tiny.
There's
So-
my boy.
So you guys came with character builds. We got a Firbolg Druid, Mark of Shadows Elf Rogue, a Pixie Sorcerer, a Goliath Barbarian, and a Grung Fighter. Bayless, that fucking nod, like yeah.
I love my boy. I'm so ready for my boy.
So you guys have
Okay.
character builds, but I asked you to bring a build ideas, but no concrete character personalities in mind. And the reason for that is I want to. So something that I generally do before a campaign starts is I want to make sure that you all have a reason to stay together. You need glue, because inevitably conflict will arise between characters, and that's fantastic. That makes for interesting gameplay. That makes for interesting Twitch content. But if you don't have any glue holding you together, that conflict will drive you apart. And then
Get it at most craft stores.
what's that?
You can get glue at most craft stores. I don't see the problem.
They have one in Barovia.
Probably.
AJ, it pains me. It's physically painful. But
You got them 2 hours away.
What ends up happening is that,
I would like to investigate for a Barovian Hobby Lobby, please.
Correct.
what ends up happening is a wedge. I mean, it's not an inevitability, but what can happen is a wedge gets driven between you, and you're essentially just held together by the rubber band that is, we're all playing the same game, and that's awkward and uncomfortable, and it doesn't make for good roleplay. So I like to throw like a decent amount of glue in between your characters. So while you guys are trying to figure out who your character is, I want you to keep in mind why do I want to stay with these people? And obviously none of you know who these other people are yet. But as you're figuring yourself out, try to figure everyone else out and figure out why you would want to be with them. I will tell you that the simplest glue is that you are all going to be in Barovia, spoiler alert, and you will all be essentially trapped there. And the only way to leave is, well, we'll get to that later. But there will be a way to leave, and presumably you will all want to leave at some point, and you will have to work together to actually leave. So that's like the easiest glue. That's one of the best things about this campaign. It's like there's glue just built into it. But I want your characters to be motivated by more than just, I want to leave this fucking place. So I want to build in things that your characters care about in Barovia. And I will sort of get a little bit into that later. Holy crap, we are getting so many subscribers.
Leo,
Have Leody get the 3.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear that 2 more times. Yes.
Holy shit. Hey, we got cheerspiration from Joey. First cheers
Not
for
yet.
next session.
To roll a d6 for that first.
Steph, roll.
Steph, roll a d6.
Get a 2.
Roll a d. I don't have any dice next to me.
Steph's laying on the couch. She ain't got that.
Figure it out.
I have 6 sets of dice.
Then pick a number.
I got a 1. It's Sean.
Got a 1, it's
Sean.
Sean.
Yay.
Thanks, Fast Leody.
Thank you, Fast Leody. Thank you for the gift subs. And
Thank
welcome to our new subscribers.
Hamster with hats.
And
I can't say that out loud.
I wasn't
I'm
in
afraid to laugh.
chat at the time, but welcome MD Star 13, and I'll welcome the other one when they show up. I missed the first one. I'm sorry.
Hamsters with hats and Wahoo one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wahoo!
Thank you, Bayless.
Wahoo.
Also, that marks us topping 50 sub points, which means we just unlocked a 5th emote slot. So Bayless, get on that Art of Steph so we can add an emote.
Yeah. Let me just add it to the pile. Not doing anything.
Not doing
Not
anything at
busy.
all. You're not
No.
busy.
Not right now. You're not busy.
Especially not Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What Bayless is referring to is that so we started this stream at 6 p.m. But from here on out, our Curse of Strahd streams will be at 1 p.m. EST, and we'll be starting the campaign proper 2 weeks from today on the 28th. We're skipping a week to give Bayless some time to get our character art drawn.
Please and thanks.
Time is cool. That'd be nice.
All right. So, who has?
Unfortunately, I don't have the magical ability to just summon drawings. Sadly,
That's unfortunate. What kind of artist are you?
I'm working on it. There's a sacrifice that goes with it. It's a lot.
I volunteer.
Okay.
So, who has some idea of who their character is?
I mean, I do, but I don't want to be the obvious one to say yes.
Go.
Yeah.
You just said yes, so now you
just
have
said
to.
yes, so now you have to.
Shut up.
Thank you. I said
I just didn't want to go first.
So much pressure to go first.
Okay, so I had ideas of who I might play as,
Okay.
and then I saw the grung and I fell in love with the grung. So
Frog person.
frog people.
Frog people.
So I thought I would go with obviously bearing in mind how you need to change it, how you need to tweak it so that it fits the narrative of the game. But I thought of going with a. Do you want like my full idea, or do you just want like, you know, the class and race and stats? You know, what do you want? I guess.
Essentially, I'm asking who he is as a frog person.
Okay. I was going with like the wandering samurai archetype. You know,
Okay.
he was trained by a master. He's going out on his quest to prove himself. And that quest was to go here and, you know, help the city of Barovia and, you know, find something that has been lost. So that's his archetype is to find that which has been lost because it's to prove himself. But at the same time, he was also told to do good things. You know, that's the force he needs to be in the world, is
It
doing
just sounds
good
like
stuff.
Mulan.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, you know, any of the 7 samurai from 7 Samurai. Yeah.
So I will say that in general, most people who aren't Barovian have no idea what Barovia is.
Okay.
And usually you end up there accidentally.
Okay.
At least it appears to be accidental on, you know, as far as you're aware. You didn't do it on purpose, but
Gotcha.
It might not be totally by accident. It might be by someone else's design. But I totally vibe with the I'm looking for something lost. Did you have any ideas of what that something was?
Yes.
Enlighten me.
My master himself.
Your master himself. Okay.
Yes. My master himself, Dorian Ito, has gone missing, so I'm looking for him. Not to spoil my sweet little Ghibli storyline, but yes.
Okay. Wouldn't it be super convenient if he was in Barovia?
Wow. Who would have thought?
Wouldn't that be super convenient?
Would it be
Sounds
super
like it'd
convenient if
be
I was his
super
master?
convenient.
Oh,
Say it again, Sean.
Would it be super convenient if I was his master?
Would that be convenient?
no.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, how serendipitous is the word.
Big boy word.
I mean, my grung has Snurk. There you go. His name, Snurk, has presumably spent a lot of time with his master. So I feel like, you know, unless you just like changed physical form, it would be pretty obvious if I was just like, oh, there you are. Cool. Can we get home?
I am just joking.
So what I'm kind of trying to do here is I'm trying to set up personal stories that will resolve at some point throughout the campaign. Having it resolve instantly as soon as you guys meet each other would be a little...
I know, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
Okay.
Oh, hey. Cool.
Well, that was easy.
We don't
Now,
have to
how do
be
I
here.
leave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to be here anymore. Let's skedaddle.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that being said, he was also kind of personally instructed just to always be helpful. So, you know, being wrapped up in a situation where, presumably, because I don't know how Curse of Strahd goes, a city is being, you know, buried with a bunch of torturous shit is exactly where, you know, a swordsman wanting to prove himself and be heroic would be, you know, so.
Yeah.
That in of itself is a reason for me to want to stick around and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Bayless is done. Like, his character's figured out. You can leave. You're done. Goodbye.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
done.
See you
That
later.
easy. All right, log off. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Thanks for
bye.
coming.
Yeah, this is actually just the Bayless show. That's why he's in the middle of
I
your
watched
screen.
that shit.
I don't need my own show.
I
No,
picked
no.
almost completely at random. Like, this is just... I started typing names. Does anyone
I
else-
like being here.
Anyone else have any idea who you want it to be?
I'll go.
Okay.
So I was kind of going for a background of like a traveling act. Like the person who I'm playing, I wanted her to be like part of a family of traveling acrobats.
Okay.
That's like her entertainer background. But after a while, she kind of like got caught up in working for. Now, I don't think we haven't discussed whether or not we want her to be from Eberron or not.
Yeah, I'm fine with you being from Eberron.
Okay.
You do not. So yeah, that's the other thing that's like super convenient about Barovia. It exists between planes, so it doesn't matter where you're from. So you can each individually figure out where you want to be from, and then if you want to know each other, I guess you guys kind of have to be from the same place.
Yeah.
But other than that, no limitations. So if you want to be from Eberron, feel free.
Okay.
And then you can use, the storied history of Eberron and Sharn and all that to sort of inform your character decisions.
I was thinking of like after a while being taken into the house of house. How do you pronounce it? Diarlin, which is the house of the Mark of Shadow.
Okay.
One of the Mark of Shadow's houses, which is known for espionage and entertainment. And that's about, and like I would like collect intelligence for them.
Okay.
That's about as far as I got.
Okay.
I'd actually toyed with the idea of like being a street performer as well. So if you wanted to like work that in as a because I didn't nail down where I was from.
Okay.
Yeah,
I based
that's
this
a
character
potential.
off of a book I read in like high school. So.
Who's time to read books anymore?
I kind of figured that Snurk would have taken like the Kubo and the two strings route and just been like, well, I can't fight things, so I can like perform on the street corner, and that's how me and the master will afford what we do, that kind of route.
That's fair.
So that there's a potential,
Okay.
plot connection.
I admittedly know very, very little about Eberron. So
I don't know that much either. I just know about the house pretty much.
Yeah. Yes, that's a little rough for me because usually like players will throw out like ideas and I'll be like, oh, here's a detail, here's a detail, here's a detail, here's how you can link each other, and I know so little about Eberron.
I don't need to be from Eberron. Like it could just be like a gang or like a organization or something from like Faerun even.
Yeah, I mean we can always just change like the flavor around the Mark of Shadows. Admittedly,
exactly.
I know so little about them. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, everyone just keep in mind these two characters as you're brainstorming and talking your way through your own character.
I mean, it could be the Mark of Fargo, North Dakota. Like it. I mean,
Sure.
If it's really like just an organization.
Yeah,
sure.
You want to be from like fantasy Earth? Like go. Yeah. Alternate Earth that has magic. Do it. So who else has some idea of who their character is?
Gash.
I'll go. So I was thinking with Rubik, he's a Goliath barbarian, most likely from Sword Mountain, Sword Coast region of Faerun.
Okay.
With Goliath's tribe is very important to them. I had pictured him as maybe kind of being like either self-ostracized or shunned from his tribe due to slight anger management issues.
Okay.
And since then has been kind of wandering, getting work just with his sheer brute strength, be it just labor or actual. I think I was thinking about going gladiator background, even though I'm not excited about it. There were just no real good backgrounds for the store for what I was thinking, but that kind of worked. I figured he'd maybe get some work, either almost like a strongman at a car, like maybe instead of gladiatorial fighting, it's just like strongman stuff. Hey, watch this guy lift like this whole cart and stuff. And then but for him, the glue would be searching for that tribe feeling that he has been missing from his tribe, and having this thing in common where you're with these strangers in a land that you get mysteriously whisked away to, or whatever happens, would be kind of that thing that he connects to.
It's kind of starting to sound like we have a wandering circus troupe.
I was just
fine. I'll be part of a wandering circus troupe.
I mean, that's kind of
7 inches tall.
It sounds kind of rad so far. I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, yeah.
especially if we want to. I mean, depending on like how much backstory everybody's cooked up, especially if we want to cook up the scheme that we are a wandering circus troupe and we just go from town to town like investigating shit and like looking for, you know what I mean? Like, especially if we built that as our shtick.
like you're a wandering circus troupe, but you're also adventurers.
Yeah, it's kind of like
The off
Scooby-Doo.
season.
I was just thinking that. Like,
Yeah.
it's Scooby-Doo and fuck, what's
It's kind of like the Pussycat Dolls, like where we have our entertainment act, but then we also like investigate mysteries.
Correct.
You know?
I
I don't know how
reference.
Jay Miller feels about this shit.
Was that a thing about the Pussycat Dolls?
Yeah, they were a band.
I got that they were. I know they're a band. That's all I know about them.
Yeah, but they also investigated mysteries in the cartoon. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
The Pussycat Dolls are like
Tim is
Josie and the
wasting more
Pussycats.
money. Yes.
Oh my God, Tim!
Everyone loves each
another
other.
gifted sub.
Tim, I love you
Tim,
so
and
much.
welcome, Unknown Titan 333.
Tim, you lovely, sexy man, you.
That he is.
Holy shit! So many gifted subs.
Oh my gosh.
We love subs.
to Unknown Titan?
Thank
We
you
love
so
subs in any
much.
form, whether they're like
Do
12-inch, 6-inch,
yeah.
virtual.
If we're gonna be a wandering circus troupe that solves mysteries, do we need an animal mascot that talks?
Yes.
I think it's the
It's you.
pixie. Nope, it's the druid.
Jesus,
It's the druid.
Jable, stop it.
Yes, Jesse.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Holy shit! 5 more gifted
Bro.
subs from Jables. Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Rowdy Man, Kaigea,
Holy
Demorn 22, Dark Eye 21, and
Yarkonaut's
Yarkonut.
finally
Hey,
subscribed.
Yarkonaut's finally a sub.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Welcome to Village Troll. Feel free to spam Samus in chat, because that's what everyone
Please do.
Holy fuck.
Thanks for reminding me.
I just hear the clicking. Holy shit.
Samus.
Moose.
She's the floof. Samus.
So yeah, Jordan, AJ, did you have any ideas, and have they been derailed?
I mean,
I
if
came
we're-
in here with 0 ideas, so I've been put on the rails.
Cool.
If we're gonna
The train
go
is
for
in motion.
wandering circus troupe, then that kind of changes my thing. I was gonna go with I'm like an elder because my guy's gonna be a Furbolg druid.
He's the ringleader.
He's like 450 years old. Like he's the
Ringleader.
elder of this
Yeah.
tribe of Furbolgs. And in the last few months, he had been getting visions of bad things happening or about to happen, which sets him off away from his tribe towards something. And maybe he can hook up with this wandering group of circus folk and not
We
really
need a
be
ringleader,
them,
and you just happen
but
to
he needs
show
a
up.
group to stop.
Just hey, our ringleader just died. You want to take the place?
You look like a perfect replacement. We'll train you.
I mean, a druid's naturally very wise and healing. I mean, the average circus group probably needs a healer,
I can
Honestly,
imagine there being
high-flying
lots of
stuff.
broken bones, yes.
and Crunchbite can be the healer. Sorry, there was a red versus bluey reference. My bad.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's fine. I would have eventually set off out of this place in the forest where I have lived for 400 plus years, and maybe hooked up with these people because they seem interesting and eclectic and
Your vision tells you to.
Furbolg wants the new life. He's bored of sitting in the forest.
How does not to get too much into, I guess, what we're going to find out in 2 weeks on the 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How does everybody come into this story? Like, are we just kind of like putzing about doing our own thing and then blam, we're in Barovia? Or
And then suddenly monsters.
I was actually planning on ending the session with that, but that's probably too late. That was a noise.
What was that?
Oh, what's that?
That was the follow noise. Thanks for finding
Oh.
Unknown Titan.
Nice.
oh, okay, thanks, Titan. You're not unknown anymore, big guy.
Remember
You're
the
known
thing.
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was planning on doing it again this session, but I guess it makes more sense to just kind of tell you now. So my idea was that
How much are we derailing your game?
I mean, it's not my game; it's our game.
Aww.
Aw, communism.
The game was the friends we met along the way.
Nice.
But my idea was that in however many places and across however many times it takes, essentially there is a group of wandering entertainers that is not you.
Oh, wow.
A group that is not you.
There can only
Is there
be
such a thing?
that you
can only be
meet
one.
either individually or in groups or as a single group, and then they extend an invite to you from someone known as Madame Ava, and that she needs your help. And there's more to it than that, but they extend an invite. You follow them, and then you end up in Barovia.
Okay.
That was my idea. But
Or
then,
we are that traveler.
but then now you're all wandering circus troupe. So
Well,
And then Jordan's the one who shows up, and then we all head out from there.
I mean,
We are.
It is still very possible that So if there was a group of 3 of you that all knew one another, and then 2 of you didn't, or the 2 of you knew each other but not the other 3, I would be comfortable with that. But if 4 of you know each other, and then one of them is just like the other guy, I feel like that one person would feel left out. So
My only concern with doing the traveling band is like I'm trying to find a reason for the Mark of Shadow and like the background of like the espionage and stuff. So like if for me to like leave and come back would be a little counterintuitive.
leave the performance and come back to it?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily. If you are the ringleader, naturally you start the show and then you fuck off. So I mean, and if everybody's entertained, then there's your distraction.
Oh.
And we have a reason to go from city to city to city to city.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
I mean, to be entirely honest, like this is a dope idea, personally, but like I also don't want to fuck up with what Jordan had in mind for his character. So
Yeah.
Right.
I
No,
fully
I'm
support.
about it.
I do not want you to be the odd man out. So if this doesn't work for you, like,
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to reconcile what Jordan's already come up with and Wandering Circus Troupe. Like, I can't see any way to put those two things together.
yeah,
So I'm more inclined to put some kind of glue between Jordan and AJ's characters, and then the 3 of you can be a Wandering Circus group, and then AJ and Jordan, since you're both very Fae oriented, there's a natural hook between your 2 characters.
Like
Yeah, I
you
could
could
say
be from the same area.
Like the furbolgs tend to guard things special about the forest, so we could guard like a weak point between the barrier between the material world and the Feywild. And so pixies and other Fey creatures are a common occurrence. And so
there's a reason for these 2 to know each other.
Here's a spitball. What if the thing that you actually guard is a Fey crossing, a mushroom circle that is actually a weak point in the fabric between planes that allows you to cross between the prime material and the Feywild.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And recently, a single pixie came through, and then the Fey crossing fell apart.
Aw, shit, here we go again.
Okay, that sounds very, very hooky.
And then the 2 of
AJ.
you set forth to try and figure out why and how to fix it.
Yeah, bitch, you and me, let's go.
You can ride on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm almost
That gives him the perfectly. It gives Bayless his character.
Wait, Bayless, you can ride on my
perfect reason
shoulder.
to try and eat
Yeah,
these
yeah,
pockets.
yeah,
I will point out that grungs have poison on their skin. Just want to
Yes.
point that out.
yeah.
They're also
I'll
quite.
put you in a cloak.
I mean, I have clothing on, so there's presumably stuff on my feet, and you have clothing on, so like,
Yeah. As long as you don't as long as you don't pat my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
I
wear
probably
gloves
don't-
the whole time.
I probably don't want to ride anywhere on Andy's shoulders because I'm assuming as a barbarian Goliath, you're probably barely dressed.
But yeah, that would be a good assumption. I think I have a cloak for when it gets cold, and
There you go.
and that's just more for aesthetics, so people aren't looking at me like I'm completely nuts because the
He
cold.
has a
doesn't
pair of
affect
shorts
me.
for normal wear, and then when it gets hot, when it's cold out, he puts them on for him.
We need to get you an Andre the Giant leotard.
The mirror thing on Zoom?
Yeah, like the mirrored thing on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can turn
That's
that off.
AJ. That's
Yes,
Jordan.
that is AJ.
That's Andy. That's Sean.
Oh, well, now you're wrong.
Wow, you got good at that.
Boom. I had to stare.
It took weeks of practice mentally.
I'm going with like proximity of like the door's on that side. Okay.
See, I don't have a problem with it because like I'm the one streaming, so I can see it in real time.
Yeah.
So like I left this hand, and I'm like, okay, there's Sean. let me get this
Plus
pointing
you're right
right. Alright, there's Sean.
The little flex.
But yeah, how do you guys feel about being like two distinct groups? Nothing to do with one another, and you just both end up in the same place.
As long as Bayless's character doesn't try to eat me so many times, I'll find that.
No. So long as I'm not hungry, you should be fine.
You do look like a very large dragonfly.
That makes sense.
I did take the Outlander background, so we do have that.
Yeah.
okay.
No need
So-
for food.
So food and water completely trivialized. Cool beans.
Nice.
Also, Druid.
Just like
Also true.
Dragonfire.
Yeah.
Just like Icefire Peak.
Oh, I also have the Outlander background, so we're doing great.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, Jesus, there you go.
Yeah, but I guess the pixie gathering food for 5 people.
Yeah.
Two
Listen,
berries and a nut.
listen, I can take you there. It doesn't say I have to carry it.
You find a single strawberry and you're like, I found a feast.
Yeah,
I can carry a
wow.
whole strawberry.
Look how much it is. Wow.
Listen, just let me have this. I did my best.
Just kind of pick it up in my hands. It's this tiny little thing.
Good job.
I can't wait to visualize my character next to Andy's character. It's the best part of this whole campaign.
Don't worry, that's Bayless's job.
Yeah.
Andy, how tall are you?
Yeah, Andy, how
Too
tall
tall.
are you?
7-11.
Fuck.
Okay, yeah.
Hell yeah, let's get some slushies.
That
Just
beats me
saying.
by 3 inches.
I am 2'8".
Wait, hold up. Bayless is 2'8", and Jordan,
Yeah.
you're 8'2".
No, I'm 7 feet 8 inches.
Oh, okay. Oh, he beat you by 3 inches. I
He
thought you
beat
said
me
he.
by 3.
Okay, I thought you said he beat you, or you beat him by 3 inches. All right.
No, but because I got, I'm old, I got that, lean forward hunch thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, eye level's like 6 feet for me.
Nice.
How tall am I? I don't remember.
How tall am I?
I'm normal height.
AJ, I'm
It
guessing
doesn't
you're
matter.
like 8 inches
I'm the only
tall.
one normal height.
Yeah, I'm 7 or 8-ish. 6 to 8 inches tall.
God.
I'm the most normal person here.
This drawing is going to look like cell phone bars. It's going to be like,
No, but like put me in the middle because it's funnier that way.
yeah, well, yeah.
Smallest in the middle, and it gets bigger as we go out.
So,
Yes.
so ever since we started streaming, we've had Steph and I have gone back and forth on like scaling certain characters' art up and down so that they get the same screen real estate. Because like Denton was 7 feet tall and Zogrim was 3 feet tall, and I was like, no, like I have to show off that he's a gnome. Like he's got to look small on screen. I don't think I can get away with that anymore. I can't have an
No.
8-inch character and
No.
an 8-foot character at the same scale.
Yeah, I noticed you had like the scale of feet.
Yeah, I got a height chart.
Cycle the
Yeah,
character.
I'm not getting away with that this time.
Yeah, no, because then you're
It
going to
did
have
not
like,
work with full.
you're going to have this. Like, it's
Yeah.
just going to be like, yeah, my name's AJ, and I'm Andy.
Yeah, AJ would get about 6 pixels.
That's fine. That's all I need. That's about 6 more than I deserve. I can't wait for this artwork.
I've actually commissioned a pixie from Bayless before, but he's not on this wall. He's upstairs.
Yeah,
in my
I think we had to
office.
do him on the shoulder of somebody, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we put him on the shoulder of the Goliath, in fact.
Yeah.
Noted.
And then I think that single picture was just the same shot. Like I kept them on the shoulder so that
Yep.
so that it wasn't just like, out of nowhere.
What if you do this?
So am I gonna
character
have like a
portrait for
grung
just,
on
like-
one shoulder and a pixie on the other?
Probably.
We just have a person tower, and he's on the bottom, and then the next smallest one's on his shoulders. the next
Yeah.
smallest one's on his shoulders, and I'm at the top.
Yeah, we'll be a whole totem pole of people.
Correct.
Just walking around town, 15 feet tall total.
One
Hello.
very long
Trench coat.
trench coat.
I am here to help all the brave people.
So it kind of feels like you guys like have an idea of how you're going to interact with one another.
Yes, one large trench coat later.
Yes.
Yeah.
One 20-foot long trench coat.
Exactly.
I'm so drawing that. I hope you know that. I'm so drawing that. It's going to be a 20-foot tall trench coat with AJ at the very top of the head.
Little tiny head.
My wings surprisingly have like eyes on them.
It'll just be
It
this.
just looks like a face.
Like just, hello, everybody.
God, this is gonna be quite the campaign.
This is gonna be hilarious.
Holy shit! All right.
Holy shit! Ian was not ready. It is then that he realized he made a mistake.
And this is when he realized he fucked
So
up.
if we did go, if
You
we
done
did go
fucked up,
if we went the traveling, circus performers group, are we going to be separated from our group, or is the whole, troupe going to potentially be there?
It would most likely just be the three of you.
Okay.
I feel like it would be like the way I'm picturing it would go would be, as they're passing by, they would notice our show, they would start talking to us, and then we would wander off with them, and then we would get lost.
Sean, what's your race again?
Elf.
Oh, you just have a freak show cast.
Why does it assume that I'm the ringleader?
Someone said you're the ringleader, and we're just rolling with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're the most normal looking person out of the three of you. And then you got a
Fair.
frog person who's 3 feet tall, and you got a Goliath who's 8 feet tall.
Yeah. And I mean, you're the one that needs to be like fucking us the longest to investigate. So naturally, the ringleader would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
How big is your charisma, Doe?
10.
Oh, whoops.
Shit.
I am an
But-
incredibly charismatic
But
person.
you have 1d4 to your performance checks.
Yes,
That's great.
which I am proficient in.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Okay.
So there you go. You got proficiency and plus d4. So
You know what? Okay. So I've got 2 in performance too, I think, because of entertainer. I'm guessing
But
you
I'm
did.
stealthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also
Yeah,
stealthy.
I've got a performance too from Gladiator, and
Hell yeah,
this
brother.
is why you're the circus troupe.
Yes, I love it.
Hell yeah.
Isn't Gladiator a variant,
It's a variant,
of the entertainer
yeah.
background? So you
I think so.
literally picked the same background.
Circus troupe.
totally, yeah.
No,
And we get
Gladiator gets a unique weapon, though.
Ooh.
I actually forgo the unique weapon and went with an instrument. So with
That's a shame.
the rage aspect, since he lost his tribe due to the rage,
I really
figured,
shreds on the guitar.
in order to calm himself down, he almost
yes.
has to like pick up the flute after a battle and just kind of very under the wind play like a song to himself to just like breathe and calm down.
We're no longer circus troupe. We're a band.
He really shreds them to lose.
Because I also picked up the instrument. Funny enough, I picked up the flute, but still, I picked an instrument.
As
As
did
well.
One
I.
of you guys has to change.
You all
We're a
picked
band.
the-
We're a band. We are now a band. Oh my God, we're Josie and the Pussycats. Yes,
How did you all pick flute?
because we're a band.
Okay, so we have a trio of flautists.
Yes.
All right.
Do all 3 of you actually have the flute, and I just kind of missed something?
Yeah.
Like dead
Yeah,
ass?
no, I actually
No,
have
they
a flute.
dead ass do.
That
Yeah.
dead ass just
Dead ass.
happened.
2 of
Can we
y'all
call-
gotta change. You gotta actually make a band, because that'd be fucking funny.
No,
Okay.
It's a flute.
Submitting a
flute
band
trio.
name. Submitting a band name on the table. Whistle Boys.
When,
Call
what do
yourself,
you
the,
think?
call yourself the whistleblowers?
Yeah, the
What do you
whistle. Ooh,
think?
the whistleblowers.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh, I like
I
that.
like it.
the whistleblowers.
Yeah, I made
Yeah.
a mistake.
Whistleblowers.
Can't wait to hear this joke
With the mic.
for the rest of the campaign.
Well, because we're protected, I mean, legally.
We are the whistleblowers. I already wrote it down.
Nice.
Oh my lord. Okay.
This is so good. Can we get a talking mascot animal, please?
The only song you guys know how to
I
play
mean-
is by Florida.
They don't have to do anything. They just need to be there.
I mean, 3rd level, I guess.
Are you not the the animal mascot? You're a frog person.
This is a fair point. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
I am a frog
Also
person.
can conveniently play the flute.
I am kind
I
of
wanna
like
get-
Jabberjaw on the drums.
I want to get a mechanical hawk, though, so that's my familiar.
Do they have a funny voice?
It has a recorder in its voice box, so it can make any noise.
So we can make demos.
The eagle
Hell
is
yeah,
the background
brother.
drum.
Oh yes.
Your mechanical hawk is the background drums that you guys need for the flute trio.
My God, that's good.
The only song you guys know how to play is "Whistle" by Flo Rida.
Yes, yeah. Mechano-Owl, drop that beat. It just plays like Casio beats. It's just like.
Only royalty-free music only. You guys just have to roll with it.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
Yes.
My excitement for this campaign just went from like here to
Whistleblowers are going on
campaign.
tour.
So,
What's the chat like right now?
So I have all these notes about horror and fear of the unknown, and nope,
Yeah.
gone.
Oh man, it's like any good dramatic anime. You've got to have like the comedic to like fucking balance it out. Every time like Ed and Alphonse had like the dramatic like reaction because dog child.
Duh.
It's okay, master.
That's a lot of dog.
Is it Winston or Paco?
Winston.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, okay. Let me try and regain my composure after that laughing.
Yeah, good luck.
So
You just
It's a sign
started.
of things
You just
to
started a
come.
game with these motherfuckers.
holy shit.
Yeah.
So Jordan and AJ, let's talk about you. Let's put the
I
whistleblowers to the
unfortunately-
side.
I unfortunately do not have a flute, but I can get one.
No, it's fine. You don't need one.
I have proficiency in the pan flute, I think. I do.
You know, that counts.
Close
That
enough.
That
counts.
counts.
That counts. That's a flute.
That's like 6 flutes.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
actually have
like
one.
6 tiny flutes. That counts.
6 tiny flutes.
It's like 6 tiny whistles. I mean,
Yeah. That's basically a flute.
basically a flute.
Yeah.
So aside from flautistry, what's going on with your characters? Who's this pixie? What's her deal?
What's the Pixies deal?
I'm
All I
so
really know
excited
about
about this.
I don't know.
Well, the only thing I know about Pixie is the fact that she does shadow magic, but is probably one of the nicest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. Like, she cares about friends. She's a friend person, and she'll make friends with everybody because she's just that naive and dumb.
Okay. So out of all the pixies and all the Feywild, why were you the one through the portal before it closed?
That's a good question, Way. I just found out this happened like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you might want to figure out why.
Figure
Yeah,
it out.
I actually have the Outlander background, so I was probably, we'll say I was out looking for something and trying
Okay.
to find something, and I took a wrong turn, and the
Okay.
turn ended up being very, very wrong.
Yeah, what if it's all an accident?
And what were you looking for?
So that's a good question.
Strawberries.
I don't. How do pixies do? Do pixies do village things? I
Um,
did not do my research. I will admit.
I'll be
Little
honest. I
Smurf
didn't either.
villages. Like Smurf villages with the mushrooms and
So if the clearly made for children Tinkerbell movies are to be believed,
Admittedly, not bad movies, but I digress.
I thought the songs could have been better.
Yeah. Oh, they could have been, but like the movies themselves are actually kind of decent.
They do.
Our
actually
DM would
just-
like to reference Tinkerbell, the animated films saga.
They live in tiny little
Tinkerbell
wooden
sponsor us.
buildings. You know.
Sure.
Bet.
I know how to eat food. No one
I know
saw
how
that.
to eat food. I don't.
Lunaria says the pixies like sweet things and shiny things.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
This is
what's
why I'm going to go find a flute.
What's
right now.
shinier than an interdimensional rift in space?
That too. We could say something was fucking up my tiny little village house and family friends. So I went to go find out how to fix it, and then I got lost.
Yep.
And then bam, something was shiny, and I have the attention span of a dead gnat.
So what was
Of
it? A dead gnat.
A
Yeah.
dead net.
That's my go-to.
You
phrase.
as an AJ or you as in your character? Sorry.
Both.
Okay.
Me as
just
an
checking.
AJ, like definitely, but my character can pick it up too, I guess.
that's fair.
So what was fucking up your village?
Probably some sort of disease.
Just disease.
Or a large cat, probably.
I was thinking
Bayless.
a wolf.
Surprise, it was Bayless.
Wouldn't a wolf to a village of pixies be like Godzilla?
Yes, it would, but pixies
Yeah.
are also magical, so.
It's so frightening.
What if it was like a group of werewolves?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, just without
Yeah.
saying the word were or the
Fair.
prefix.
Werewolf.
Where.
Werewolf.
We were
Um,
discovered by humans.
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 Boom.
Uman Thurman?
Uma Thurman? I fucking love Uma Thurman.
Here's me trying to tie Jordan and AJ together a little bit more. Jordan, were there any humans in your village, or was it just furbolgs?
It was just furbolgs.
Okay. And would you?
Unless human makes it easier for you, then yeah, there was humans in the village.
Yeah. Having humans in the village makes things way easier for me.
Sure, there were humans.
You're the boss, Ian.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Humans, they're there for like a minute, but because I'm 400 years old. But
The Furbolgs
Yeah.
kicked him out.
So they're
as long as they're nice to the forest, it's fine.
so
We don't
there-
take kindly to your kind.
So there were reports from the Fae that there were wolves coming through the portal that you protect, but you have no
Protect.
evidence of any wolves going through the portal. Only trusted druids. And after a while of searching post the portal's collapse, you've come to suspect that some of those humans were in fact werewolves. And
Those bastards.
those bastards! You trusted them.
They lied to me. Eating my Fae friends.
Eaten my
Hey, don't eat your Fae friends.
So
At Bayless.
AJ, how many of your Fae friends have been eaten?
A good number. Like a concerning amount.
Okay.
Good big answer.
To the point where it's starting to become an actual problem.
Alright. Starting to become a problem. It's not a problem yet.
It's a problem, but we don't want to admit it's a problem.
Okay.
It's becoming a problem at 37 deaths. It is a problem at 38.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so it's alright, so 37 Fae friends.
Hard
dead,
line.
dead to
37
werewolves.
Fae friends.
That's a lot. Holy shit.
Yeah, 37
Okay,
pixies
yeah.
is maybe a little too many pixies.
Okay, fine. 36.
That's better.
Perfect.
Dial it down a notch.
Alright, so
Just one. Not too many notches.
so you two have essentially at this point then been searching for the werewolves to root them out, to end them if necessary.
Crime fighting duo.
What was that?
I said crime fighting duo.
Crime fighting duo.
We gotta have a cool superhero team name.
Let me see if there's any other information I can.
Pretty sure Furbolg and the Pixie
Throw out,
already
yeah.
works.
Furbolg and the Pixie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't scan quite right.
Tiny and Gramps.
Tiny and Gramps. Love it.
Tiny and Graham. Only if you actually call me Tiny, and I can actually call you Graham.
That's fine with me. You can call me
Oh,
Gramps.
Tiny.
I like Tiny and Graham.
Tiny and Gramps.
I thoroughly enjoy players having nicknames for one another.
Tiny and Grandpa.
No, see, Grandpa's too weird. Gramps, solely Gramps. Stick to Gramps.
Gramps is fine.
Tiny Gramps and the Whistleblowers.
Tiny Gramps. Perfect band name. That's what,
Ah,
that's what we can call ourselves when we all get together.
God, that is a hipster band if I've ever
We have
heard.
to put Gramps first. or
That's
else we're
it.
thinking-
That's the bitch.
Tiny
That's the
Gramps.
bitch.
Tiny Gramps. Yeah.
I mean, it's Tiny Gramps, not Tiny Gramps.
Tiny, comma.
Oh yeah.
Gramps,
No, yeah,
comma.
it's not a group of tiny grandpas. That's just weird.
All right.
Fuck.
So, I'm just looking up some more info that I can throw at the two of you for your hook.
Just warn me when you throw something. I'm really bad at catching.
Okay, we'll do. What is the number for this area? That's the thing. So the two humans among those who were living in your village and have now gone missing, that you now suspect to have been werewolves, were a married couple named Emil and Zuleika Turanescu.
Bless you.
Emil and Uleika?
Zuleika.
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 Turanescu.
Emil and Zuleika, what?
Turanescu.
And
Can I order the Turanescu, please?
I have
the Turanescu.
I actually have art of the two of them, and I'm gonna see if there's a way for me to put it on stream without it sucking.
And you didn't want to use Roll20 today because fuck Roll20. Don't sponsor us.
I mean, still, please don't. Yeah.
We don't want you.
Arby's sponsor us.
Arby's can sponsor us. I'll be sponsored by Arby's.
Or Taco Bell.
Ooh, Taco Bell.
I would kill a man for Taco Bell sponsor. Don't take that out of context.
Bro,
Jables, we're not quoting that. Jables, don't quote that one.
Andy's mint shake slaps.
Save image. Open. Show on folder.
No Chick-fil-A. I agree, Tim. No Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Alright, this is gonna look really stupid for a second, and then I'm gonna fix it.
I mean, me too, but you guys keep me around.
They do look sketchy.
They do look kind of sketchy, yeah.
Oh.
Don't take that out of context.
Yeah, he's so
Did
sweaty.
that bitch take Voldemort's nose and just sew it onto hers?
Yeah, why is he so sweaty?
He's sweaty. Oops.
Me too.
Whoops.
He's like super sweaty.
So that's those are the Turanescus. And I'm gonna remove them from the stream now.
Why is he sweaty like he's in a Michael Bay movie?
Because he probably is.
He probably is.
Look at him.
Alright, they're gone. Alright. I just wanted to show those off real quick. Cool.
Bye, Turanescus.
Bye, Turanescus. So yeah, those
My
are
favorite Italian dessert.
Those are the two that you now suspect to have been werewolves secretly all along. Cool. I'm just going to make notes for why in the hell they were there.
Because sketchy werewolf shit.
They were studying. Studying for bulbs because they didn't know anything about them, and then they decided to be pieces of shit.
Alrighty. I've got a note there. Alright, cool. So I've got your hook. That's neat. And Bayless is looking for Dorian Ito, who may or may not conveniently be in Barovia.
I mean that's
entirely
up in the air.
Yeah, it's still up in the air, and you'll just have to wait and see.
I mean that could also be entirely sidelined for for the whistleblowers live on stage in Barovia this winter.
This winter.
I assume Barovia is in a constant state of fall/winter.
You're not wrong, actually. you're actually completely right. that's totally true.
It's like always Halloween.
Because that's the spooky season.
Spooky,
scary skeletons. Shivers down your spine.
3 spooky, 5 me.
Is this how you guys are always gonna react to like scary or...
No.
Okay, because like
we'll behave.
I think I would actually die if I was just like, it's super scary, not really. And you guys are like, wow, that's really funny. Like,
well, I feel like
to be completely honest, if you wave your arms around and tell us something super scary, that is going to be funny.
Okay, I won't wave my arms around.
Yeah. There's a big difference between there's a bunch of dead corpses and there's a bunch of dead corpses.
I deal with being afraid with humor, so I'm probably gonna laugh anyway. To be honest.
I mean, so like it's really cool because the book actually says that in a horror setting, in a horror, in horror fiction, you need humor because without humor, it just gets like you become numb to the horror. So I'm not like at no point do I want to say you're not allowed to laugh. Like this isn't allowed to be funny, but appropriate responses so as not to crush my ego.
I'll do my best. I'm very socially inept, so we'll see.
Oh, okay, cool.
Thought we clear that up.
So yeah, we got a hook for Jordan and AJ. We got a hook for Alex. Andy is looking for a new tribe.
Sean is looking for information.
Yeah, Sean. What are you investigating? What are you trying to find? Is there's something in your past that you're trying to make sense of? Is there someone who wronged you and you're trying to find them and kill them?
Are you a sponge?
Are you a sponge and you'll take whatever I throw at you? Yeah.
Sponges are cool. They're pretty practical.
I prefer starfish. No.
This is Patrick.
Yellow.
No, this is Patrick.
I'm not a Krusty Krab.
I don't know actually.
Okay. So did we kind of abandon Eberron and your Forgotten Realms so that you can be with the whistleblowers?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the way.
Okay. So let's sort of rewind from there then. So how did you come to meet these people? What led up to that?
I would say it's possible that during my time with one of the houses that I'm working for, I had to possibly go undercover and join them in order to get into a specific area, maybe. Like get into like a specific region.
Okay. So
I don't know if that works, but
yeah, when you say that you're working for like a bunch of houses, first thing that jumps out at me in terms of Forgotten Realms is like Waterdavian noble families.
Yeah.
Or even Baldurian patriarch families.
That's pretty much what I thought when I was attempting to run Tyranny or something, and like in case someone wanted to do like a dragon mark, I was thinking, okay, it'll probably be like a Waterdavian house.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Waterdavian or Baldurian.
Yeah.
You know, major cities with noble families. I know a little bit about like the plot relevant noble families in each of them. Not to harp on our Avernus campaign, but you know, the Vanthampors. Ooh, what about the Hunes? What about the Hune family? So unbeknownst to most, in fact, I think unbeknownst to my Avernus players, because I don't think it actually came up, the Hune family of, by the way, Avernus spoilers. The Hune family of Baldur's Gate actually lead a cult known as the Knights of the Shield. And their shield got stolen. Like, the shield that their cult is named after got stolen. Stolen. So perhaps you're one of their agents looking for that shield?
Okay.
Maybe?
Because he wouldn't necessarily know he was schemy, or that it was a schemy organization. He's just hunting for something.
Yeah, it's like, you know, a magic item was stolen from us. Please go retrieve it. Here's the leads we have.
Okay.
So then you meet these two to essentially just set up, you know, establish cover. Yeah. Because entertainers can find so many, you know, any entertainer can has access to so much hearsay and so many rumors. So, you know, that's essentially your go-to.
Yeah.
All right. I don't hate it.
Cool. That's all I look for.
All right.
Tim was suggesting that we should go looking for the shield that Nixie has, and then look for Nixie in turn.
By the way, that is the shield I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In case anyone was unaware, that is the shield. It's Nixie's shield. But
and then we converge the two campaigns together.
Yeah, I mean,
one super campaign.
The Gilded Troll cinematic universe.
Yeah, I mean, hell was Barovia all along.
I mean, okay.
Did you do it? What did it cost?
Everything.
Everything.
Alright. Working for the human family. Searching for the shield of the hidden lord. Cool bean. And then, Andy. I feel like
Hi, Andy.
I feel like as soon as like you have a group here and you start like working together, like that's like your story finished. And you know, like I was saying, like if Baelis's story ends with, oh hey, I found you, okay, let's keep adventuring, like that wouldn't be super interesting if your personal story ended immediately. So are Goliaths xenophobic? Do they prefer the company of their own kind? Do you need a tribe of Goliaths to be comfortable, or do you need? Is there some part of your culture that the tribe has to emulate, like nomadism or something like that?
Do you need a place specifically?
Yeah, a place rather than just a group of people. Is there something?
I imagine that while the group has kind of filled in a little bit of the void, while I don't think it's xenophobic, so to speak, it's more, it's part of, like, they're very culturally isolated and they kind of like what they're doing. So I would imagine eventually being able to be accepted by other Goliaths of some kind would be his ultimate goal.
Okay.
As much as the whistleblowers have kind of filled in a void
right
intermediately.
Yeah, it's not your tribe, but it is a kind of family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to go with the whole. I was kicking around, missing family, stuff like that ideas, but it just every idea I came up with felt a little tropey, so I just kind of figured I'd eliminate a family from the aspect of it.
Okay. So
I guess by that aspect, if you want to keep the looking for Doranito element, you can as well. Presumably I'm going from town to town with the whistleblowers, also looking for him.
Oh, yeah,
I guess if you want to keep that same,
we all have our own motives for why we
yes.
joined the group.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something the three of us presumably all enjoy, but we're all looking for something elsewhere.
Right.
Besides enjoying playing the flute.
No, the whole purpose of you guys being here is for the whistleblowers. That's the only thing. You're on tour here now. You can't do anything about it. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
Come on, tour this 2020.
Starting June 28th, Barovian tour dates for the whistleblowers.
So
$25 per ticket.
Yeah.
$25 per ticket. That's a fucking steal.
I'm gonna have to make tour shirts for the whistleblowers, aren't I?
Correct. Yes, you are.
That could be kind of dope. I'm not even gonna lie.
That would be.
We could sell it.
That would be an incredible addition to our merch store.
For tiny Gramps and the whistleblowers.
Tiny Gramps and the whistleblowers. And a lot of people don't realize there's a comma between Tiny and Gramps.
Yeah.
Tiny
Gramps.
Tiny Gramps and the whistleblowers. It's a 2-act performance. First, we have Tiny Grandpa show up on stage, and they talk about the way things used to be, and then we come in and we
blow our whistles.
Yeah, and then we just blow our whistles. And it's not even to tune. We just sitting on stage just. Sorry to everybody's speakers.
Yeah, that was a little unpleasant.
You three are playing backup whistles in the background quietly. Well, Tiny Grandpa is just ranting for 40 minutes about how it used to be back in his day and about how kids these youth today is just trash.
We're just in the background playing sad flute for an hour straight.
That act actually sounds like it would fit perfectly in Barovia.
The OK Boomer Tour coming to Barovia this winter.
Z says I can 3D print the instruments. You're not wrong. I've seen 3D
print
printed flutes.
An instrument for Pixie. Little tiny me. I need an instrument my size.
I've actually seen a 3D printer that has like a standard like cross-sectional area for printing, but then it goes up literally an entire meter.
Wow.
People have printed like entire full-size flutes on it. Yeah, I've actually seen that. It's really fucking cool. I've also seen ocarinas, and they work really well.
All right, Sean, Andy, before the game, we have to go out and buy recorders.
I have several of them in my house.
I might actually have one around. Yeah.
I have a mandolin
I
next
do
to me,
not.
but that's different.
You have a
I have
what?
a ukulele, which is
I need to
vastly
learn the
different.
song. I need to learn the song from that one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation too.
Oh, the Picard flute song.
Yeah.
No, I have a mandolin, but that's not a flute.
That's not a flute.
That's
I have a
no.
ukulele, which is also not a flute.
Well, we'll just change our instruments. What? No, the whistleblowers have to
Just
stay.
blow into it and
It
strum.
has to be the whistleblowers.
Oh my god.
I mean, I have a saxophone.
Doesn't work.
That doesn't count, but I have a saxophone at home.
What in the fuck is my life?
Why?
You picked this. This was your fault.
5
It
assholes
actually
playing
was.
Curse of
It
Strahd.
actually
That's your
was.
life.
Yeah, I was the one who said wandering circus. That's the thing I said.
Your
No,
life
you
is-
were the one who
No,
put this
technically
together.
Bayless was the first one to say it.
Ah,
I think. Was it?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
No, Andy said.
I'll take the bullet.
No, Andy said
I
he was a
mentioned
gladiator.
strongman.
Yeah, Andy
Yeah.
said he was a gladiator, and I was just like, wow, you're all entertainers of a type and circus acts.
Yeah.
no, that was me. That was me.
Shadows. So you're all gonna play Jurassic Park on the recorder.
Yes.
Correct.
Bayless.
That's the
Bayless.
entire show.
What?
Bayless.
That's a little risque.
Everybody on YouTube can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
And Twitch don't care.
Twitch don't care. Holy shit. Okay.
Jump up.
I just really hope I don't like lose my composure this hard like while I'm trying to be scary.
You
Oh,
will.
you will.
But I don't know why I'm surprised to have lost my composure this poorly because it took what 10 minutes in the one shot.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
Sadly, the
shit.
Twitch isn't going to know about our one shot. That
Twitch
was
will
pretty
not
good,
know
though.
about our one shot, yeah. I just wanted to make sure in case one or more of you was an axe murderer that I could like
Yeah.
Surprise.
quietly ask you to leave.
Our one shot, we all played centaurs who fought with pitchforks, and it was
You're centaur
very
monks?
uncoordinated. It was
You're
very, yeah,
centaur monks
yeah. It was super uncoordinated.
running up walls.
Climbing ladders? Oh, Jesus. Okay.
How does a centaur climb a ladder?
With difficulty.
Difficult terrain.
That sounds like my laugh too. Good.
Centaur climbing a
We
ladder.
broke Bayless. That's what it took. Centaurs climbing ladders breaks Bayless.
Somebody on Twitter, get on that one.
I'm
You're
sure-
the artist. Just draw it real fast.
I don't care how a horse wears pants. I want to know how a centaur.
I need to know how centaurs climb ladders.
I have a question about centaurs.
Anyone else have any questions?
I have another question about centaur.
How does a centaur climb a ladder?
Oh my god.
Wow. Cool.
So like when centaurs
yeah.
are born though, you know how babies can't hold up their heads, but horses can run after like an hour. So what's
Just
the
the whole human torso just flops around.
Yeah, it just flops around for like the first 6 months or so until it can pick itself up.
It just somehow doesn't get shaken baby syndrome the entire time.
Yeah. Do centaur babies drink milk from the horse nipples or the human nipples?
Oh God.
It depends on how they're feeling, I think.
I need to get some sleep tonight. These questions can't be rattling to my head.
I don't work till 4:30 tomorrow. I don't need sleep.
Okay.
Oh God.
Is
I think
it okay?
Shadows just sent me the question, the art.
What?
Well, that doesn't show up on camera at all.
I mean, if you hold it up, the iris will close and it'll be able to see.
Hey, it's fine.
Okay.
If you join our Discord, then you'll be able to see it.
I'm gonna see this.
Follow the and then you'll be able to join our Discord for the following conversation.
I like the first one.
I like how it says if centaur climb ladder.
I like the first one with the back legs just kind of presumably.
Yeah, just hanging there.
If centaur climb ladder, would climb this or this?
If centaur climb ladder.
Back to
Back
Barovia.
I think that I've
Yeah. So
gotten-
horror.
Centaur.
I think that I've gotten enough information out of you guys to sort of, there's glue between the group. There's hooks individually and as a group. We've established ground rules, limits, tone, themes. This may very well be my most successful session 0 ever because we did that in an hour and a half. So I mean, like, holy shit, that was fast.
Centaur glue. No.
So, hey, we got bits from Jables. All players get to start with Cheerspiration.
Thanks, Jables.
Thanks.
That means I had 2.
That means
Yeah.
Sean
So I'm
has
gonna make a-
2.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
got
make a table
Deuce.
right over here.
I got deuces.
I am working on a Twitch overlay, much like the one for D&D Beyond, that will actually pop up on the other side of the screen with players' Cheerspiration. I'm working on it.
They're going to include nat 20s too?
Yes, Cheerspiration
Awesome.
and nat 20s. It is difficult to program Twitch overlays apparently, so I'm working on it. No promises it'll be up anytime soon, but that's the
Too
thing.
bad you don't know a programmer.
Yeah, damn. If only I had dozens of coworkers who were all Wait. Twitch overlays are a pain. Thanks. Someone agrees with me. Cool. Someone knows the pain. All right. So yeah, like we're just about finished. So where I want to end this session is essentially fully giving you the party-wide hook that I gave you partially earlier. So in your 2 separate groups, as you're searching for the things you're searching for, traveling, looking for a place to perform, you come across a series of covered wagons and a dozen men and women gathered around a crackling bonfire. And I will say that these are 2 separate scenes that play out presumably very similarly or almost identically. The folk around the fire are in good spirits. A few of them sing and dance around the fire, while others find happiness in their flasks and wineskins. And their 3 barrel-topped wagons are parked at odd angles. And they're essentially just in the middle of the road. Like, they have no problems just blocking the entire road, making it very difficult for anyone to get by them without being noticed, but also making it impossible for anyone to not notice them. Tied to a nearby tree, grazing, are half a dozen draft horses wearing bright coats with bangles and tassels. I am going to railroad you just a tiny bit, because if you don't take this hook, the game doesn't start. So, presumably, you guys approach them, and since they are clearly friendly, welcoming travelers like yourselves, are you welcoming? They're happy to welcome you into their camp, share their wine and food, and even share their stories. And an old man. Oh man! Again, I want to share some art, and then there's no good way to do it. Oh well. I'll just hold it up to the camera. It's big enough.
Yeah.
So an old man, easily the oldest one there, and incidentally, they're all human. Somewhere between tanned olive skin and somewhere between olive skin and deeply tanned, all of them, and they all have difficult to understand accents, and not one that you recognize from anywhere around wherever the hell you guys are. And the eldest begins to shush people and bring them in, and he seems to be starting a story. He fills his mouth with wine, then spits into the fire. The flames turn from orange to green. As they dance and sway, a dark shape appears in the bonfire's core. Ooh, pretty art.
How Deckard Cain is this old guy?
I
Stay a
don't.
while and listen.
I don't get that.
Stay
reference.
a while and listen.
I don't get that reference.
The old dude from Diablo that's in the center of town that like tells you that shit's evil.
Oh, okay. I've never played a Diablo game. Just like, okay, go ahead. So he begins to tell his story. We come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten, the land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads. The dark shape in the fire takes the form of a man being knocked from his horse, a spear piercing his side. He continues, one night a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived. When we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home. But we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him as one of our own and followed him back toward his homeland. His enemies hunted him. We never gave him up, even when their assassins hounded us like wolves. Deep in the bonfire, you see the dark figure standing with sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. This man of royal blood fought to protect us as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish, leave when you choose, and know that you will always be safe here. The figure in the dancing fire vanquishes his final foe, then disperses in a cloud of smoke and embers. The old man's face becomes a somber mask. A curse has befallen our noble prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave his domain. And he looks at each of you at, these two different points in time. We've traveled far and wide to find heroes such as yourselves to end our Dreadlord's curse and put his troubled soul to rest. Our leader, Madame Ava, knows all. She can help you find what you're looking for. Will you return to Barovia with us and speak with her?
What do you guys think?
So you guys like whistleblowing?
Okay, Squidward, calm down.
Okay, Stitch.
Incidentally, I forgot to practice the accent. Like, that guy was supposed to have an accent. I forgot to practice it. I'll have it practice for next session.
I've been practicing mine for the last week and a half.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, where else are we supposed to be?
I didn't have any other shows booked for us, so quite honestly, this is probably our best bet.
Let's go for it.
I suppose so.
Shifting to the other group. At a different fire, on a different night, but with the same storyteller. Not that you know that it's the same story. Yeah.
Well, Tiny, what do you say?
I say we do it, Grams.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. So they welcome you to share their fire. They welcome you to share their wine and their meat. And they welcome you to share... not share their beds. That's a little suggestive. They welcome you to share their camp. There we go. And then on the next morning... I
say we have a jam session during the night.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. They will thoroughly welcome your music as they do their best to jam along with you with their tambourines and their variety of stringed instruments.
They do their best to refrain from laughing.
I rolled 21.
The next morning, They break camp. They clean up their fire. They leave the road as it was before they arrived. They hook their horses up to their wagons, and they head off with you in tow. And they head in the same direction you were already heading, which kind of makes it a little weird. Like, how did you not... why did you run into them now? But they head the same direction you were already heading. And after a few hours, mists start to roll in, and visibility is reduced to 100 feet, and then to 50 feet, to 20 feet. And eventually the mists become so thick that you can't even see your own hand in front of your face. And as quickly as they
magical?
Mists can come in that quickly. Clouds can descend on the land very quickly. Does it seem magical? No. Does that mean it isn't magical? Also no.
Okay.
But as quickly as the mists came, they also begin to disperse. But something's not quite right. Instead of seeing the dozen or so people that you've been traveling with, you instead see... Describe your characters, please. Physical description.
Dun dun.
What do you see? How do your characters look? What are you wearing? Skin tone, hair, all that.
I'm gonna pull up my description for Bayless so I can remember details.
Okay.
Probably a good idea, just so we're consistent with what we told him and what our art will end up looking like.
Can I ask before this gets going? 2 questions.
Sure.
Sean, do Andy and I know your actual goal for being a performer?
I would say no.
Okay. Second, okay, well then that kind of answers the other question, because I was going to say, if we knew, could I have taught them some grung code words? But yeah, if we just think that you're a fellow performer, then I would
do you think it would be better for you guys to know, or? I
mean, that's more whether you wanted to divulge that information or can. I just didn't know if
that's your call.
Yeah, I just didn't know if I didn't know if you told us or not.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Bayless, I thought your character didn't speak common. I thought we were all, unless you changed that to make it easier.
Yeah. No, I speak common.
Okay.
Because not only did I spend a lot of time with a human, but so I feel like I would have learned common after a while.
Yeah.
I feel like my understanding of certain words is probably perfect. Yeah. My sentence structure is probably not always perfect, but as long as it's all right with Ian, I would like to know common.
Yeah, no, that's totally
fine. I would
fine.
like to be able to speak with the other players.
Yeah, you can pick up languages from your background. So as long as your background is a background that allows you to pick a language, then yeah, you can totally pick up common. Even if your background does not allow you to pick up a background, you can customize your background into one that allows you to pick the language. So I'll take a look at your character sheet, and then we can fiddle if need be. So yeah, what do your characters look like?
I'm small. You probably don't even see me at first.
Whoever wants to go.
I'll describe my character.
Okay.
So pretty much you see about a little more than 5 feet tall, woman. Honestly, kind of looks like the people that we're walking with the same skin tone.
Okay.
Except purple hair, or purple or black. I haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, it's currently nighttime.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Tight braid. Wearing a hood. Carrying a rapier to the side and a couple daggers, and a little almost pest dispenser type thing. For ball bearings.
Okay. Okay.
I wanted a little something extra for the drawing.
Sure.
What you said, half elf, full elf?
Elven, yeah.
Full elf?
Full elf.
Okay. With an olive skin tone?
Yeah.
All right, Rubik, you see again a nearly 8 foot tall Goliath. He's bald and has your typical And I had to actually look it up. I didn't realize they're natural markings apparently.
Yep.
Sometimes
That's cool.
are emphasized, but those blue markings and whatnot. So he's got them up along his head,
Jaguar.
and you can see him on his chest. He's not wearing a shirt, obviously. He does wear trousers, not a loincloth. So, and they're they're got bare fur lining and stuff, just because that's from the mountains.
Your
He's got a
2'8"
battle
companion
axe.
appreciates you wearing pants.
Actually, sorry, no, I changed the battle axe. He actually carries a warhammer and a shield and a couple of hand axes just kind of tucked into his belt.
I love sword and board barbarians. Nice. I think that's the way to play a barbarian. Like great weapons are cool, but like sword and board, it's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's probably again one of the most imposing people in the area. So.
And the second most imposing person is Gramps over here. What do you look like?
Wow.
So I'm kind of hunched over, using my staff as like a walking stick. It's got like a crook on the end where I could like hang a lantern or something if I had one.
So like a shepherd's hook?
Kind of like a shepherd's crook, and it kind of dips back up at the end, just like at the very end.
Okay.
So it's got an extra little hook on it.
It's like a hook with a hook.
Yeah, it curves over and then back up just a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of like gray skin that was probably more vibrant when he was, not 450 years old. It's kind of long gray, unkept hair and big, like scraggly beard.
Ooh.
Got like leathers on. He's got a shield, but it's like this giant. It's essentially just tree bark. Like this giant thing just ripped this big bark off of a tree. And what else? He does have like a cloak on. It's kind of tattered because it's almost as old as he is.
All right.
It's about. He's kind of like he's not as imposing. He's kind of thin for a furbolg, as one might expect someone who is 450 years old would be.
And I'm just remembering that furbolgs have the ability to cast disguise self and then change their apparent height.
Yeah.
Do you do that, or do you just
feet lower?
Do you just stay your normal height though?
I'm just gonna say my normal height.
Okay.
I do sometimes use it to make myself seem bigger and more imposing.
Oh, okay.
I have proficiency in intimidation.
Oh.
So he can stand up full height, look big and imposing.
You can do the Gandalf thing.
So I specifically took proficiency in intimidation for that.
Nice.
What is everybody's names so far,
Rickon.
by the way? Rickon.
Inej.
Just Rick.
Inej.
Or Gramps.
Yeah, or Gramps.
Okay.
And I'm Rubik.
Do you wanna say your whole name just so I can hear it?
Please.
Yeah. So it's. I have to actually look at it before I can pronounce it. Hold on. So I had a different name, and then I read that Goliaths have 5-syllable clan names, so I had to add syllables. So it's Rubik Nabrin Lethkuttish.
Bless you.
Nabrin Lethkuttish.
Nabrin Lethkuttish. Yeah, that's
You
easy.
said it was an acronym, and I have to know what it's for.
Ian, didn't you figure it out?
Huh?
That's an anagram.
Anagram.
That's what I meant.
No one's figured it out. No one's figured it
I
out.
didn't get it?
No.
I'm not just gonna give it up either.
It's
No,
gonna
you
bother
didn't get
me.
it. You were close. But
I'm
you
really
didn't
bad at
get it.
anagrams, so it's gonna bother me a lot.
It wasn't whatever Trebuchet?
So, no.
Is it something trebuchet?
Damn.
It's
UK?
I'll announce it at the end if no one guesses it. So.
Okay.
Shit, are
The
you
end of the
okay?
campaign.
Or the end of the session?
Yeah.
One of those answers.
That
is
wasn't an answer.
No, campaign. Torture.
Alex, what do you look like?
Yes. Snurk is his name. He's
Do you have
a
last name, or are you just Snurk?
ooh.
Are you Snurk Ito?
Yeah, sure. Do Grung naturally take on last names, or are they pretty one-namey?
I think they're pretty one-namey.
Are they pretty mononym?
Yeah, they're very mononym, and also a lot of their names just sound like variations of Ribbit or Croak.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty decent one.
Like there's Rourke, Groke. Trying to think of other ones. Yorb. That one's not. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say as of right now, I'm just Snurk.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got like a blue, like dark blue and light blue skin, and he's covered in like purple robes, and he's got like, you know, little bits of like bamboo plate armor. He keeps his head wrapped at all times. And I'm carrying around a very purple samurai sword on my back that I'm very protective of.
Purple.
Purple, yes.
Purple.
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 Purple. Purple.
All right.
Schmurple.
All right. And the tiniest one.
All right, hang on. I just put a pretzel in my mouth, and I got you.
What?
I have
Bayless, you said you have a base wrap. Is that like the whole thing?
No, it's mostly just like a hood, but it kind of does like a, you know, like it is a wrap, but it basically just wears like a hood.
Okay.
I don't conceal myself or anything.
Please don't do that again. Like your mic kind of cried a little.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it basically operates like a hood. I'm not covering my face or appearance or anything.
frog.
So you're just very frog.
Yeah. And I would say my hands and feet are also equally uncovered, if that makes a difference. But the rest of me is, knowing that, like, you know, grung have poison skin.
Yeah, so you just.
So do you wipe your blade on your hand?
It's exactly why my hands are uncovered.
Awesome. That's just cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just.
I was thinking either that or just like.
Oh, gross.
That's a little cringy. I like the hand.
Yeah, well,
better.
okay.
Yeah.
Just like pinch it between your palm
Yeah,
and
yeah,
thumb.
Yeah.
Just don't cut yourself. It'll be fine.
I don't know what eye color grung typically have, but I went with like solid black. Like
I think generally solid black. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's terrifying.
And I definitely want the 2 eyelid thing.
Yeah.
That's also terrifying.
The nictitating membrane.
That's a big boy word.
That's a big boy word.
That's a $5 word.
That's a $5 word.
AJ, what does your character look like?
My character's about 7 inches tall. Shoulder length, curly, purple hair, big round glasses.
Big round glasses.
Big round glasses that I don't actually have that I wish I did. Big purple wings. Likes to sit on Gramsci's shoulder, also known as Tiny.
What kind of wings do you have? Are they like dragonfly or butterfly?
Oh, that was a good question. Probably butterfly.
Okay.
I didn't even think about it. They're probably butterfly.
I think technically in 5e, pixies have butterfly wings and sprites have dragonfly wings, but honestly, I'm not.
It'd probably be butterfly.
Okay, so big purple butterfly wings. That's terrifying.
Got so much purple all
There's
around.
a lot of purple going on.
Yeah.
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 Do you and you said you glow?
Yeah, I am a flashlight.
Okay, so from a distance, do you just look like a ball of light with wings?
Hey, Link, listen. Hey, Link.
Yeah, yes.
Listen.
Hey, listen.
Someone has to rename their character Link. It has to. Yeah.
You know,
it'll probably have to be me because
I legit thought about it. I legit thought about making like just Link for this campaign. For like a hot second, I was just like, I should just make Link and just walk around.
That would actually really work for a grung, because instead of that, it'd be so the mists consume you, and then as quickly as they came, they disperse, and you find yourselves on a very, very different road, and where there were leaves on the trees prior, the trees are now withered husks just reaching over the road, threatening to blot out the sun. If they had any kind of foliage on them, you're pretty sure that they would have created a complete darkening canopy. But as it is, you can look up and see fog, just fog. And the road continues in both directions, and all you really see is woods, road, fog, and one another. And that's where we're going to end this.
Cool.
All right.
So,
Nice.
So our next session will be 2 weeks from today on the 28th.
Such a long way away.
It'll be 2 weeks from today, both to give Bayless time to get our character art done.
Some dope character art.
Yeah.
Better be dope for waiting 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You're gonna stick figure, bro.
The best stick figure you ever saw, though.
And also to give me time to sort of prep your sort of personal stories and get those sort of interwoven into the overall narrative. What else? Another big announcement.
Let's go. Announce.
In addition to our Curse of Strahd campaign, we're starting another campaign.
What? Two?
Yeah, two.
You
madman!
I am a madman. We are officially announcing our Odyssey of the Dragonlords campaign starting this coming Saturday, the 20th. We're going to be playing at 4 p.m. EST, and it will feature some familiar faces and some not so familiar faces. So the players are going to be Steph, Luke, and Chris, all of whom have played on the channel and who are friends like IRL. We've touched them as physical things before, as well as Tim, also known as Fitz Chivalry. He joined he joined us for my birthday one shot, and two of our other viewers, Jesse, also known as Jables. And Amber, also known as Ramber Nicole.
Ramber.
Nice.
So join us on Saturday for our session 0, and then we're also going to be skipping a week after that one. So the 20th, Odyssey session 0, 28th, Curse of Strahd session 1, and then the 4th, I think, the 4th will be Odyssey session 1.
4th of July.
4th of July. Oh, geez, that is the 4th of July.
So we're almost halfway done with 2020. Get this shit over
Yeah,
with.
we're almost halfway done with this god-awful year.
I want to say to those of us that are in the other campaign, just be nice to those of us here.
Yeah.
Well, you hype us up and we'll hype you up, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well,
Someone
we have channel
friendly
points
summons
we
for
can
us,
use
friendly
on your
summons for
stream.
you.
Join us then. Join us next week, 2 weeks from tonight. We are changing the time, so this session started at 6 p.m., but on the 28th and sessions thereafter, we're starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. So, thanks for joining us, and we will see you all then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. I love you.